State and teaches or has taught philosophy, theology, Latin, biology, chemistry, and history in high school. I also have a family of 6 children who are not allowed to attend the religious school where I teach because I refuse to violate the moral law. Not just religious sentiments or rights, but the moral law that binds us all. Consider one such moral issue. Various vaccine products such as MMR, for which there is no ethical alternative, are produced in live cell cultures from aborted fetal remains, and even after filtering, significant amounts of subcellular DNA and protein from the child remain in the final dose, and you can refer to Teresa Deisher's affidavit for the science behind that. Applying a thorough moral analysis, it's an open magisterial question, by the way. People think the church has fallen on one side. It's an open magisterial question. But many Catholics and conscientious people see clear, immediate, forced cooperation in the intrinsic evils of theft, desecration, experimentation, and trafficking of human remains obtained through violence in the production of this product. And this is one of a number of complex moral issues, including STD vaccines and those which constitute extraordinary means defined as those where there is no moral obligation to receive them. While the Church in principle does not oppose vaccination, informed consent by the patient, free of coercion, is a fundamental pillar of the Catholic bioethical tradition and any humane medical ethic. Coercion absolutely undermines informed consent and the most basic tenet of the Hippocratic Oath, to do no harm, because to violate the conscience of the patient by overriding their refusal of a procedure is violence against the body and the soul. It is the most basic harm. It contradicts and undermines all legitimate public health. It abandons the physician's duty to care for the patient rather than to become their master. There is little more hardline, forceful method of coercion than to ban an entire segment of the population from public life, from school, daycare, and the standard means of association with peers. Consent means nothing if there is no right of refusal, and you would make the price of refusal a permanent state of segregation, isolation, and banishment when there is not even a temporary claim crisis. You would make the forfeiture of consent the price of citizenship, by which that fact alone, it ceases to be citizenship and in principle becomes slavery. Yes. Your measure not only strikes religious freedom enshrined in your state constitution by establishing the principle, but undermines the common good generally, of which the public health is a part. It establishes the principle of state ownership of citizens and their persons, dissolves the common good by dissolving the autonomy, which is the very essence of citizenship. Among the logical consequences, if mass data is collected from such inoculations, you are automatically forcing human experimentation. If people are injured, you're engaged in forced harm, and those who profit have no liability or accountability. In the Catholic tradition and in any good free society, parents are the natural God-given primary protectors, educators, and guardians of their children, not the state. And I can quote the Catechism, but to save time, I'll go along. These are not only principles of faith or even ethics. I have just a concluding, about 15 seconds. These are not only principles of faith or ethics, these are principles of sanity. In closing, if you pass this measure, you bear for all time the full weight and moral responsibility of outlawing the full public practice of the Catholic faith for coercion, which fundamentally subverts the moral law and rights of citizens, and for undermining the very nature of your own elected office, which is to preserve the good and not to dissolve it.
Amen. Amen.